to Prison of Elders. Prepare for combat.
Well, you heard the man. Get ready for combat. Hey, what's up guys? TBL here, and we are 1 week into the April-Spring update. And guess what? I still haven't run out of things to do. I think that in and of itself could be considered a success. But how's it going, guys? It is the start of a brand new week. We're back on Tuesday, April 19th now. And overall, I'm still feeling pretty good about the update. I still got some stuff to do. I've had an absolute ton of fun with it. I was, even last night after I got in from work, playing a little bit of Crucible. I did some normal control for the daily, and then jumped into the classic 6v6. Actually had a pretty darn good time in there. So I have to say, I'm really enjoying the update. Now in this video, you're going to be seeing BlackVox and I quickly running through last week's Challenge of the Elders. It is the level 42 challenge mode for Prison of Elders, and it was pretty easy to complete last week. As a matter of fact, we spent about 6 or 7 hours doing nothing but running through it over and over and over again, trying to get ghosts, trying to get class items, and trying to get those new Queen exotics. It was a really productive weekend. I got all of my characters 330 plus class items, 330 plus ghosts, and I got all 3 of the Queen's weapons several times. So I was able to use a lot of them for infusion, and it was overall just a lot of gains. It was good stuff. But in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit about the April-Spring update itself. Now this is a topic that's been going on in the Destiny community, and I figured I'd throw my 2 cents into the hat. And that's whether or not it is a substantial update, whether or not it's worth it, whether or not it's a good update. And that's what we're going to be talking about for just a little bit today. And I will start this conversation off by saying, yes, this has been a good update. It's not a very full update. There's not a lot of content in it, but the content that we've gotten, the changes that we've gotten, are very, very good, and I'll be explaining that as this video goes on. But first up, let's go over some of the stuff we got in this update. We of course got the weapon balance changes. We talked about that in a previous video. We got some small changes to Crucible. We got some new content in the form of 1 brand new strike, 1 revamp of an older strike, 1 new story mission, and then the 2 new modes for the Prison of Elders. We've got challenge mode now, and we've got level 41. And level 41, if you guys haven't really run it yet, is basically like the level 28 version of Prison. It's got its own matchmaking, and running through it will get you your Sterling Treasure once a week, as well as a chance at Queen weapons and exotics from the inn chest. And Guardians, that's really it. And that's kind of been the principal complaint I've been seeing around the community now, in that while this update is mostly good, there's really not a lot of meat to it in terms of content. This is definitely not an expansion-worthy update. There's just nowhere near enough content in it to justify calling it an expansion. And, you know, to be fair, Bungie didn't. They called it an update, and before it came out, they did kind of give us the heads up that it was just going to be a few new additions to the game. So, I agree with that criticism because it's true. There really isn't a lot of content in the April-Spring update. Now, is that a bad thing? Well, you know, having more content is generally always a good thing. But I don't think the amount of content we've gotten in the April-Spring update is necessarily bad. Do I think it's going to tide us over all the way until September? Nah, probably not, knowing the way this community works out. And I'm hoping Bungie's got a couple of special events planned for the summer. We know we're not getting a big content release in the summer, but maybe we'll have the return of events like the Sparrow Racing League, events like the Crimson Days, or really whatever, because that's a long period of time to go between now all the way through summer and up to September, where it's speculated that the next expansion will be releasing. And while Prison and the Challenge of Elders is certainly fun, I just really don't think it's going to be able to stretch out people's attention that far. Although it has certainly gotten people's attention in this past week, the numbers of people on Destiny have been huge once again, proving that everybody comes back. And they should, because this is still a great game. And this update has really been fantastic for the quality of life of players. And that's going to be what the second part of this video is really about. Because more than being a big content release, what the April-Spring update did was improve, vastly so, the quality of life of the players for this game. And that is something I absolutely commend Bungie for, because it's exactly what Destiny needed and it's the real reason why this April Spring update is a bit of a shining star. Now, what does that mean? 'Cause a lot of people don't know what quality of life for player base means. And basically, it's little changes made to the game to make your life as a player easier, to make your game time easier, to make your game time more worthwhile. And the April Spring update has made several changes to affect that. Most importantly, the change to infusion and the light level system. We did have our maximum light increased up to 335, and I don't know about you guys, but I made my way all the way up to about 332 just last week. I think Black Box is at like 334, almost 335. He got a little bit more in terms of armor exotic engrams than I did. I keep getting weapons, but it didn't take long at all. And this is somebody who was at like maybe 314 before the update came out, and I made that huge jump in just a few days, mainly because there are plenty of ways to get gear now, between Prison of Elders giving guaranteed drops, the massive increase to the rate at which you gain faction and Vanguard reputation, meaning you can farm out those faction reps and packages in no time flat. I went through the course of about 2 hours on Saturday after we were finished running Prison, just kind of doing patrols and whatnot, and wound up getting like 2 faction level ups. It was crazy. It's crazy how fast you can level those up and get guaranteed gear for it. And the same goes for Crucible. It seems like they tweaked the drop rate of post-game legendaries in the Crucible, because I have been seeing them drop pretty much every other game at the very least now. And it's really easy to get Crucible level up, so you can get those packages from Shaxx, which will get you all kinds of great stuff, including Year 1 Crucible weapons. Zombie Apocalypse, I'm coming for you, baby. Then, of course, there are strikes and nightfalls and the raid and all the other ways to get guaranteed loot that are in the game right now and are working in a fantastic sort of way. There's plenty of ways for you to actually get loot now, and that's exactly what Destiny needed. And then when you mix that in again with the infusion system, now you no longer have to worry about only getting a portion of the light from whatever item that you're infusing. You get a direct one-to-one increase. If you have some 320 boots and you get some 330 boots, infuse those things into the 320s and they will jump right up to 330. Bungie has basically streamlined the light grind, and while it's still a grind, it's a lot easier, it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more rewarding. It really feels like Bungie is rewarding the time that you spend on the game, and I can't even begin to express to you how important that is. The changes to the infusion system are so simple and make the light game so much easier for players that it really has to be commended, and I'm kinda salty that we didn't get it earlier. But it's in now, and it's really what makes this update such a great quality of life change for Destiny's players. And that's not even to mention some of the sandbox changes. It feels great to use auto rifles in PvP once again. I still think the high rate of fire ones are just a little bit above every other archetype of auto rifle, but I was able to go into Crucible with my shadow price and actually put up some respectable numbers. So the weapon changes have been great, the game is actually awarding a fair amount of loot now, and the light system has been overhauled to a way that makes it just all around better than what it was before. And these are the real success stories, the real reasons for why I like the April Spring update. Yeah, as far as we know, it doesn't have a lot of content, but the content that it does have is fun to play, and it's rewarding for the time that you spend on the game. And really, that's all I can ask for. But again, the real shining star of the April Spring update are those small little quality of life changes that make your everyday life as a Guardian easier to play. It's funny, I actually found myself over the weekend logging in every day, and the first thing in the morning I would do would be hop out to Earth Patrol and start completing bounties. Do you know how long it's been since I actually cared about doing my daily bounties? But it matters now because you get plenty of reputation points for them for your Vanguard and for your faction, and they're actually worth doing. And personally, that I think speaks absolute volumes for the job the Bungie Live team has done. Well done. April Spring Update definitely gets a thumbs up from TBL. Let's just get some more content in the next expansion. But alright, I do believe I have rambled on more than long enough about the April Spring Update. Those are my real thoughts. Again, the too long didn't watch version is basically, it doesn't have really anywhere near enough content to keep us satisfied until the expansion comes out, which is supposed to be sometime in the fall. We're guessing around September, the same time as Taken King. But the quality of life changes, the sandbox changes, have really made it worth our while. I mean, look at these drops. Just from our past couple of runs, I've gotten a new Ghost, I've gotten the Dreg's Promise, and I've gotten a brand new 330 PoE class item for my hunter. It's raining loot, hallelujah. But those are my experiences and thoughts on the game. Be sure to let me know yours in the comment section below. I know you guys have been playing just as much as I have, and I'm definitely interested in hearing your opinion. Do you think the April Spring update is good? Does it have enough content? Or not so much? And do you enjoy the quality of life changes and think we should have had them a long time ago? I certainly do. But alright, it's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.